with over the past 20 years. And remember, we get some of these through phone calls, some emails, some letters, and we have suggestion boxes. They put them on there also. Another example, a citizen called to compliment 2 Public Works employees who responded to a service call after the caller arrived home from work and found he had no water. He said our employees did an outstanding job going above and beyond what he expected them to do, and they stayed late to make sure his water service was working correctly. And finally, one other comment, as we had an example of a visitor commended our aquatic staff for their friendliness and for showing a sincere interest in everyone that uses the pool. She came from a big city in another state and is impressed by our small town values and the care shown toward others. We truly do have great employees with the city of Show Low, and we try to do everything we can to help our employees and retain our employees in the city.
Great. Thank you for sharing that.
Next we have a couple of slides on emergency preparedness. I'm going to turn some time to Chief Joe Shelley to cover that.
Good evening, Chief.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. And a couple of things that we talk about in the Hazardous Mitigation Response Training Consortium. That's the one that emergency preparedness, we work with Navajo County very closely on. The last couple of years, we've actually housed almost all of the mitigation planning with Navajo County. So no matter what the emergency comes up for any part of Navajo County, we can actually take those parts and those pieces and put them together and put them to use in place right now. If we need to do a county-wide thing, that's what it's meant to do, is do a county-wide, county sharing, also into White River. So, I mean, we can do quite a bit with that. And kudos go out to Mary Jane Springer and Katrina Jenkins, the emergency preparedness people for Navajo County, done a great job of getting that all together. Part of that also is the Ready Navajo County, the communication system. They talked about it last year, just before the Cedar Fire, talking about that information, point of contact to where people can call in and get the latest information, where, as before, that wasn't happening. They were relying on word of mouth, which most of the time, that was wrong. So a lot of times where people were saying we're all evacuating, we weren't. So those kind of things were happening. So this, something like this really helps us out. So the coordinated by Navajo County Emergency Operations Center command structure that we had here last year for the Cedar Fire was over at the county complex. We had our personnel over there, which was the police department personnel for all the agencies up here on the mountain, including the state agencies. And then we had the Emergency Operations Center, which is the actual one for Fire Command Center over at the high school. We had liaisons on both sides. Worked out very well. We found some of the areas that we needed to work on, and we put those into place afterwards when we do our debriefings on those kind of incidents, so they don't happen again. One of those was not getting the information to our employees. Found that out the second day. We thought, well, where's all this information going? Next thing you know, we started sending out text messages 3 and 4 times a day, letting our employees know what was really going on. That really put ourselves at ease, put our families at ease, so that we can actually concentrate on doing our work. So again, emergency occurs, Ready Navajo County gets involved. The citizens start receiving some of those alerts that you see. Those go out in text messaging. They go out on emails. They also go on phone calls. So those are going to go out periodically. Our dispatchers are now set up to send that information out on a real-time basis when it's just us. So let's say there's something going on at the high school, we can set that out right away. And so that's what we're getting, like I said, we're getting prepared for something like that. So along with the emergency preparedness, like I said, we're still working on some of our plans. We update them. We're coming into fire season, which is one of our biggest fire as well as flooding. So we have those plans set up as well. And we work very closely with Mr. Kopp's groups as well on Public Works for helping us with all those mitigation plans too. So that includes everybody up here on the mountain. So I want to make sure that everybody understands that. So any questions for me on emergency preparedness? We still go to a lot of meetings, so.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
The final key objective under organization is our regional partnerships. We know that to be successful as a city, we need to work closely with our county and neighboring counties, the school districts, the community college district, and we've tried to list all of our regional partnerships to give the council and those who are watching our presentation tonight an idea of all the groups and agencies that we partner with to try and be successful as a city. Another list, more partners, NACOG, the Northern Arizona Council of Governments, Timber Mesa, Summit. And I did want to mention at the first, but I failed to do so, that these lists are not exhaustive. There are probably some that we haven't included on the list, so we hope we've got most of them, but just wanted to demonstrate that we do work with a lot of different agencies and feel like we need to do that to be successful. Our joint collaboration allows us to expand our comprehensive services. It helps with efficiencies. We work with the county, both counties, on snow removal and road maintenance and school programs, rural transit, and judicial and court services, among other things. So that's what I had to present for the council tonight. And again, to remind the council and those who may be watching, the objective was to let the public and council know that we have goals and objectives when we're building our budget, when we're trying to determine which projects are taking priorities, and that we have a foundation for trying to make decisions and make policy that'll try and benefit all those who are affected by it. And before I finish tonight, I'll just ask if there are any follow-up questions or anything that you would like staff to follow up or research on these topics.
Any questions? I just appreciate the time and the effort that's been put forth into this. It kind of helps the public know that we do follow a pretty rigid plans that we do have. And as we develop the budget, they'll see going forward that a lot of our items in our budget are tied to these goals and plans that we have as a council that we're always implementing, but we're always like our general plan is coming up. It's been a 10-year plan and we've followed along. Now we've got to create a new one going forward and add to what we already have. So there's a lot that goes in to keep everything working. So I think it's one of the reasons that we stay relatively, competitive in nature. We could attract businesses and that we also have the revenues to build the things that we've been building.
Okay, thank you for the time tonight, and our plan will be to be back within the next month or two with the second objective and go through detail just like we did. So in the meantime, if you have ideas that you would like to see as far as changes, if you could get with the city manager and let him know, then we'll try and incorporate those.
More color, just not blue and white, I guess.
Okay,
Yeah, some green and gold.
thank you.
All right, our next item is the consent calendar. Is there any items on the consent calendar that need to be pulled or discussed individually? Not, I'll look for a motion to approve the consent calendar. Councilwoman Kakavas, motion, is there a second? I have a second by Vice Mayor. I'll read those items. We have a proclamation of proclaiming March 2017 as Cougar Stunt Team State Championship Month, a proclamation declaring Cougar Cheerleading State Championship Month, and the minutes of special meeting of March 7th, 2017 to the regular meeting of March 7th, 2017. I'll look, this time I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? See that passed 5-0. I'll read the first proclamation we have. I need probably the stunt team, if they would just kind of stand up here and kind of come forward right around the podium here as I read this proclamation, okay? Just kind of fan out around through there, right back there behind the mic there, okay? Great. Whereas on Saturday, January 14, 2017, at Gilbert High School in Gilbert, Arizona, the Show Low High School varsity stunt team won the AIA Spirit Line State Stunt Team Championship. Whereas the city of Show Low recognizes excellence and dedication by the cheerleaders, their parents, the coaching staff, the administration, the student body, and whereas the community, and whereas the city of Show Low recognizes outstanding sportsmanship by the cheerleaders, their fans, and their coaches, and whereas the city of Show Low recognizes the desire, determination, and discipline of each stunt team member and the team's collective determination. Now therefore, I, Darrell Seymour, Mayor, on behalf of the Show Low City Council, do hereby proclaim March 19th through the 25th, 2017 as Cougar Stunt Team State Championship Week in the city of Show Low, and urge all citizens in the community to acknowledge this tremendous achievement, dated the 21st day of March 2017. Young lady, would like to commend you for your championship. That's awesome. We have some T-shirts if you'd like to come up at this time. We have Emily Walker. Congratulations. Just go ahead and shake hands here. We have Jordan Zatar.
Thank you. When you
Congratulations.
get through, why don't you just line up here and face that way?
Kylie
And
Gilmore.
that way, they can take
Thank
pictures of
you.
you. Hi, congratulations.
Russell Walgurski.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And we have Hope Lutens. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You guys want to do a flip or anything right here? That's okay.
Look up.
Parents, if you want to just take some pictures, you're welcome to of these young ladies here.
You want to get closer, come on up.
Hard to get them to smile.
That's great. Again, congratulations.
Yay.
Could I have the Sholo High School cheerleading squad come up?
Same old.
Just go ahead and fan out through there again. That's great. Slide down just a little. Awesome. Some of you guys have dual roles on here, don't you? That's great. Whereas on Saturday, March 4th, 2017, at the Arizona Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Phoenix, Arizona, the Sholo High School varsity cheerleading team won its 5th state championship. And whereas the city of Sholo recognizes excellence and dedication by the cheerleaders, their parents, the coaching staff, and the administration, the student body, and the community. Whereas the city of Sholo recognizes outstanding sportsmanship by the cheerleaders, their fans, and their coaches. Whereas the city of Sholo recognizes the desire, determination, and discipline of each cheerleader and the team's collective determination. Now therefore, I, Darrell Seymour, Mayor, on behalf of the Sholo City Council, do hereby proclaim March 19th, 2025, March 19th through the 25th, 2017, as Cougar Cheerleading State Championship Week. You guys could just be champions for a long time.
Just keep doing it.
In the city of Sholo, and urge all citizens in the community to acknowledge this tremendous achievement, dated the 21st day of March, 2017. Congratulations. This time we have, if you come forward, we have Kylie Blanchard. Kyle, I'm sorry. Boy, I blew that one.
Just a little.
Yeah, nothing
Congratulations.
serious.
Emily Walker.
Thank you.
Hey, Kyle, good job.
Jordan Zatar.
Thank you.
Kenna Douglas.
Thank you. Again.
Kylie Gilmore.
Thank you.
Way to go.
Kenzie Jonas.
Thank you.
Good job.
Laney Stock. Congratulations. Peyton Kennedy.
Thank you.
Good job.
Teresa Walgurski. I say that right?
Thank you.
Way to go.
Destiny Stem.
We move on
Thank
down.
you again.
Hope Lutens.
Thank you. Thank you.
Way to go.
Elena Hackey.
Thank you so much.
Harley Simpson.
Thank you for your effort.
Rachel Bucher. Audrey Whipple.
Thank you.
Abigail Yant. Natalie Webb. Haley Bell.
Yay.
Congratulations. Kristen Zatar.
Thank you for your effort.
And Emma Walters.
Thank you for your effort.
Give these young women another great hand. Now, you girls are gonna have to do some kind of cheer though, okay? When they get through taking your picture. Just step out here and give us a little cheer, okay? Come on. Let's light it up here.
You figure out what you're gonna do.
Nothing like warning you, right?
We are Bradley Shola for Varsity State Champs, yeah!
All right.
Yay!
We want to recognize the parents and what you guys have done and the support that you have put forth in here, making this possible too. It's not possible without great coaches. So at this time, we're going to have the coaches come up. We have Rachel Olivier, Jaron Walker, Deanne Cunningham, and Gabe Montoya. And you guys can just stay up at the podium, and whoever wants to be the spokesman about these young women may do so.
Me.
Great.
Don't mind the cold. You know what? This year, just like last year, I have amazing young athletes. Besides athletes, they keep their academics in check, and they work hard. While they're busy supporting everybody else, they're also busy supporting their own team. I mean, their own selves, their competitions, their state. So they go do football, basketball. They did some soccer this year. They did wrestling tournaments this year. They are busy, busy, busy students. And they still manage to come out and work as hard as they do to win these amazing competitions for the state.
How many teams were in the competition?
AIA, we start out with 27, and it weeds down top 10, and then obviously number one. And then at Arizona State, there's about 15 that they start with, and it weeds, obviously down to the.
Great. That's good. Why don't you introduce each one of you here?
This is Rachel Walker. No, it's Geraldine Walker.
See, I'm
Rachel L'Olivier. See, you should have done it. You probably would have done it better than me. Sorry.
All right.
She's like, no, I'm not. They know who they are. We're good. And then Gabe Moya isn't here tonight, but he is also the first time we've had a male coach. And also, I'd like to give Kyle credit. That's the first time Sholo has brought a male to our team. Male cheerleaders are huge everywhere but on the mountain. And it was really fun. He was a soccer player at the beginning of the year, kicked rear end on the soccer field, and then was talking to some of the girls. Hey, I like to tumble. Can I tumble? Hey, I want to cheer. He came out, did basketball season, and learned our competition routine in just weeks and nailed it. I mean, it was amazing. It was a really fun experience for coaches, for the girls, to actually have that influence. So
Great job, Kyle.
it's kind of fun getting some of the men involved in our sport, which for 1 second, don't you think this is not a sport? This is intense, day in, day out.
Well, thank you so much. We have these plaques we'd like to present to you guys here tonight. Thank you. We'll give one of you each a plaque, and we'll give the t-shirts to one person back here, okay?
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good job.
Get the coaches here.
That turnaround here, so.
Thank you.
Now you have a choice of staying and listening to this whole meeting or leaving before we do the rest of the meeting.
Look at him run. Big decision.
How was that?
That's good.
Okay, our next item we have is new business, consideration of award of professional service contract acquiring the right-of-way and permit for Scott Ranch Road. Mr. Cup.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. One of Sholo's highest funding priorities is the regionally significant Scott Ranch Road extension, which serves or will serve as a crucial connection between State Route 260 and Penrod Road. The project will provide regional benefits, both in reduced travel time and greatly improved daily or emergency access to alternate routes in the event of road closures on US 60. There's widespread support for this project, both from the general public as well as many regional entities, including the Sholo Police Department, Blue Ridge Unified School District, Arizona Department of Transportation, Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center, and the Navajo County Board of Supervisors. Using past federal transportation funding of $1.65 million plus contributions from Navajo County and the city of Show Low, phase 1 of the project has been completed. Based on the design concept report issued in 2009, phase 1 encompassed designing and constructing a portion of the road extension from the termination of Scott Ranch Road on SR 260 east to Show Low Lake Road. The city of Show Low and Navajo County have also been setting aside funds for the completion of this project. City staff has pursued federal grants for funding to complete the project. The primary source for funding a project like Scott Ranch Road is U.S. Transportation Department DOT grants, which are awarded. These grants are awarded on a competitive basis specifically for transportation projects. The city has applied for these funds several times since 2009, and subsequent evaluations have consistently approved with each submittal. In a joint debriefing conference this year, DOT staff strongly recommended that the city move forward with completing the required environmental permitting and securing right-of-way and easements for the portion of the roadway that will cross Forest Service land. These actions will result in a higher ranking for grant opportunities. City staff solicited a proposal from Ironside Engineering and Development Incorporated to perform the necessary environmental studies and permit applications. Ironside was selected for this work because they did all of the previous design and permitting and have a deep understanding of the Scott Ranch Road project. The scope of the Ironside proposal includes surveying, preparing documents, coordinating with project stakeholders, and acquiring a temporary construction easement from the Forest Service. It also includes obtaining an individual 404 Clean Water Permit Act, or Clean Water Act permit, excuse me. The proposed cost for these services is not to exceed $52,600, and a detailed scope of services is attached to your summaries. Staff recommends awarding the professional services contract for acquiring a right-of-way and a 404 permit for Scott Ranch Road Phase 2 to Ironside Engineering and Development Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $52,600. I'd be happy to answer questions.
Thank you. Councilmember Crittenden.
What does this do to get us anywhere closer to getting this approved and completed?
Well, as I mentioned in my summary, Department of Transportation is looking at projects that are closer to completion, maybe not necessarily shovel-ready, which may be a myth, but they are looking forward to or looking toward projects that have the permitting in place, that have the design moving forward so that they can get the money spent when they have the awards ready. So it will, just by what they've told us, will put us in a better position.
So how long does this application, would it take the process to do this work?
I would say, actually, Mr. Ironside's here. I'm going to hazard to guess that because of the review time that the federal agencies have, it's probably an 18-month process.
And then how long is the permit good for once we get a permit? Is there a sunset on it, or is there a time frame that?
The work that we're doing mostly has a long shelf life. Is the 401, why don't you come up here, Bruce, sorry.
Evening, Bruce.
Good evening, council. Nice to be here this evening. Thanks for considering this. There's the several permits that we're looking for include the temporary construction easement across the U.S. Forest Service, and that's probably the biggest task we have in this contract. And just like it says, it's a temporary, and the Forest Service can renew that. And in the initial conversations with staff and the Forest Service, with city staff, it sounds like that can be an ongoing process, and that's the most efficient way to do that. It's a little bit of a chicken and the egg program, getting the permits when it's federally funded projects. Essentially, they won't review your plans until you have right-of-way, which is a good policy because they don't want to be doing projects that don't have the land for them. So, but in this case, typically the Forest Service won't approve right-of-way until the plans are approved by the jurisdictional agency. And so it's a little bit of a tap dance that that we'll have to proceed with, but the local staff is incredible to work with. They're familiar with the project. They're big proponents of this project. They were great to work with. They're listed as a stakeholder in the initial funding of the phase 1 and the DCR, which gives them some authority to work with us and to move that along. Essentially, we need to get the project through the ADOT permitting process for the right-of-way. And then that looks like that will stay. I mean, that I don't know if it's permanent, but it's certainly 5 years kind of a program. There is an environmental component of the individual 404 permit as well as the Forest Service. And some of that, to be honest, it can run out of time. And so, but it's in that same kind of time period of 5 years, not 5 months, so to speak.
We're basically going to do this, which will move us ahead of other projects that wouldn't be ready in the event there's some grant money that comes down from the federal government to build this road.
Exactly. And you can, any funding agency, I mean, that's a moving target, as we all know. We can, with authority and sincerity, say that we can do it 18 months quicker.
Okay.
Because we can't design the plans while we're doing this, essentially, because the plans are already at 30%. That's what the DCR that Bill had us do 8 years ago or whatever. So we can't really take it much further until we get the right of way. And so this really does save 18 months on the project schedule. And I think most of the granting agencies would consider that closer to shovel ready.
Thank you, Bruce.
Answer your question, Councilmember Crittenden.
Kind of.
I might add a couple of things to that. You know, Bruce mentioned that some of the environmental permitting does have a shelf life. However, if that shelf life expires, it doesn't mean that we take the report and all the application and throw it away. It means we do an update and a renewal on that. The other thing is that the Forest Service they can only issue a temporary construction easement until the improvements are completed. And at such time we complete the improvements, that turns into right-of-way. But they won't commit to a right-of-way until the stuff is built.
Any other questions? Vice Mayor.
I'd make a motion.
Okay.
I move to award the professional services contract for acquiring the right-of-way and a 404 permit for Scott Branch Road Phase 2 to Ironside Engineering and Development Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $52,600.
We have a motion. We have a second by Councilwoman Kakavas. Any other discussion? I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? See that passed 5-0. Thank you. Appreciate that. Next item is item 8B, consideration of development agreement for Paradise Acres sewer line. Mr. Cup.
Again, thank you, Mayor and Council. The city's fiscal year 2013 capital improvements program included constructing water or sewer improvements in the Rolling Acres subdivision. Originally, the sewer lines in 4th Drive through the Paradise Trailer Park were scheduled to be replaced, but due to budget limitations, this part of the project scope was postponed. Recently, the Paradise Trailer Park began redeveloping as Paradise Acres Apartments. The developer, Fox Canyon Builders, LLC, is planning to reconstruct 4th Drive as a private street. Since the sewer lines have been designed and city staff is planning to reconstruct the sewer line, it is in the best interest of both parties to build the new sewer prior to the street repairs. A cost estimate of approximately $96,000 was developed for this work in 2013. Staff has negotiated a price of $72,500 for the Paradise Acres Apartments developer to construct the sewer improvements. The agreement also allows deferring up to $42,500 until next fiscal year when sewer improvement funds are available. Both parties agree that this arrangement is mutually agreeable. Staff recommends approving the development agreement with Fox Canyon Builders, LLC for the Paradise Acres sewer line.
Is there any questions or discussion on this? Councilmember
Does
Crittenden?
this have anything to do with the flood or drainage issue that was discussed when we were approving this?
No, sir, it does not. It is part of the project, but the developer has submitted drainage plans for that project, and staff is currently reviewing those plans.
Any type of bonding we have on that project if we go in and put this sewer line in with this developer, is there, and he chooses not to go forward with his development, where does that put us?
I'm going to defer to Mr. Brown.
Are you referring to like him completing the project?
Well, I mean, isn't this contingent of putting the sewer in for him completing the units that he wants to build over there? So if we go in and do the sewer line contingent upon it being a apartment complex, and that never happens, is that going to, where's that gonna leave us, I guess?
Probably defer back to Mr. Cup because this was already designed.
Okay. Does or doesn't?
Yeah, I think I can answer that by saying that he's only going to be paid for those improvements that get constructed. If he got to a point where something happened with his development, the city wouldn't be spending any money for anything that didn't get built, and then we would still have the funds available
Okay.
to complete it.
Any other questions? I'll look for a motion. Everybody's got low battery or no battery?
My battery's not. But before this goes out, I'll read it. I'll make a motion.
Councilmember Crittenden.
I move to approve the development agreement with Fox Canyon Builders LLC for the Paradise Acres sewer line.
We have a motion, we have a second by Vice Mayor. Any other discussion? I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? See that pass 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I do a cheer now?
Appreciate it. Next item we have is summary of current events. Any council members wishing to share any current events may do so. Councilmember Crittenden.
I would like to say that the city of Show Low participated in the Big Brothers Big Sisters Bowling fundraiser this last weekend. And I would like to say that our mayor did a wonderful job of contributing extra funds to the fundraising.
So did you, Councilmember Crittenden.
And it was a great time, and there was a lot of funds raised for Big Brothers Big Sisters and the kids that they work with. So thank you all for letting us participate.
Great, thank you. Any other reports? I have no report. City manager.
Just a couple of things. Our recreation staff's accepting applications for summer softball and Kids Night Out this Friday. The Kids Night Out's this Friday, March 24th. They're also selling tickets for Show Low Night at Chase Field when the Diamondbacks will play the Los Angeles Dodgers, April 22nd. The tickets for that are, and all-you-can-eat seats are $46, and the phone number is 532-4140. The library's launching a new monthly program this Saturday, March 25th, called Yoga in the Library. The yoga classes will be offered on the fourth Saturday of each month to different age groups, from children through adults, 532-4070 for that number. And also, the Library Friends are hosting a fundraising dinner for the library Friday, April 21st from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. The tickets are $25 a couple and $15 for a single. And there will be a four-course meal, live entertainment, and a silent auction. And for tickets, call 532-4070. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next item is scheduling of meetings. Do you have some meetings you'd like to schedule?
Yeah, just a reminder for the council and the public that we have a series of meetings getting ready to start to discuss the next year's proposed budget. That budget it's for the budget that starts July 1st, 2017. And there will be a study session on Tuesday, April 4th, before your council meeting at 6 o'clock, where we'll review the budget with the council. You'll be presented the budget the Friday before that. And then just so you mark on your calendars, it's already on the approved budget calendar, but we have a budget town hall on April 6th, beginning at 6 p.m. Immediately following that town hall, the council will be in council meeting at that time But immediately following town hall, we'll start the council study session where we review the budget. If you remember last year, the mayor requested that, if possible, the council allot most of the evening on that evening, and on April 20th, it will be the next one, so we can get through the different departments and review the budget with the council. All the meetings will be held here in the council chambers, and citizens are welcome to attend that meeting, or those meetings. Again, it's April 6th, the town hall and study session, and then April 20th will be another study session on budget.
All right. Any other meetings that need to be scheduled? Just remind you that we have also on April 20th is our Regional Mayors and Council Association meeting that we have as well on there in St. John's at this time.
Really?
Our next item is we have an executive session where we will be going over the evaluation of the city attorney as well as the executive session minutes of March 7th, the 5:30 and the 7 o'clock p.m. Need a motion to move into executive session. Vice Mayor, and seconded by Councilwoman Kukovas. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? See that passed 5-0. This time we move into executive session. Thank you.